Welcome back to Half A Hot Rods. I know what you're thinking. Adam, I can't afford to have a separate hot rod for my daily driver. I'd love to have an old truck like Maverick's LS Swap Dually, but I can't afford for it to be apart all the time. I gotta drive that thing to work. Also, I'm just starting out, so my choices are pretty limited. What if your only choice is the boring old Buick that your mom and dad took away from grandma and grandpa because they kept running into gas pumps and dumpsters and things? Well, I'm here to tell you, you can still have fun with a boring old Buick. I drive one every day. The benefits of a boring old Buick are they're reliable, they're fuel efficient, mostly, and they are comfortable. Look at that interior. Yeah, buddy. So how do we make this a hot rod? Well, we're going to start with appearance. First thing on appearance, and it's going to help with efficiency and keeping it cool inside, is window tint. Now you can save a few bucks and do it yourself, but you're probably going to end up with bubbles. It's not going to look as good. Or if you've got a job, you can save up a little bit of money and spend a couple $100 and pay a professional to do it and never worry about it again. Let's see how that looks. Oh, window tint looks good. Now you got to be careful. You need to know what's legal for your state. And then you also need to know how much you're concerned about what's legal for your state. But that really changes the look of that car. The second thing, the thing that I think makes the biggest difference in how a car looks, is wheels and tires. Look at these beauties. Yeah, they're not really beauties. But here's what I like to do that, one, keeps the cost down, and two, makes it justifiable to the people that I have to answer to. She's not home right now. So this car needs tires. They are worn out. So I did a little bit of research. I found out what it costs to get replacement tires in the same size as what I have. And then I went on the Google and I figured out what bolt pattern these wheels have and went looking for other cars that have the same bolt pattern. Now I start looking for newer cars or different cars that have the same bolt pattern that people might take the stock wheels off of, and those stock wheels might be an upgrade for my car. What I found was that there's several GM cars that share the same bolt pattern, and some of those are considerably larger wheel size, but they're still the right offset so they don't stick out and look goofy. They just fill up the wheel well a little better, and they look a little more updated. Kind of like Maverick did with his half-ton. I'll have to show you that another day, though. He put 18-inch wheels off 07 or 08 Silverado onto his 99 GMC Sierra, and they look good. Let's see what we can find to replace these. Boom! 19-inch wheels. Makes all the difference in how this car looks. I'd like to find some Buick center caps because the bow tie ones I just don't think look right, so I pulled them off. But those look real good. And I bought those wheels with almost new tires for less than what it would have cost me to put 4 new tires on the old 16s. Here's something else we could do on this car. See all these stickers and even the emblems here? These emblems are just glued on. Of course, the stickers come off pretty easy. We could peel these emblems off too, and it just cleans it up. See, that one's already peeled itself. So we just got to get the goo off. That one I'll probably leave, but I'll show you something else we can do with that. So let's clean those emblems off and see how we feel about that. I know how I feel about it. You can tell me how you feel about it. So I've already peeled all these letters off. I'll have to go back and clean the glue off. I did those with a scraper, which I just buried. The trick here is to get enough pressure on the razor blade to get under the sticker without digging into the paint. And you just kind of gotta develop a feel for it, what it's going to take. And you'd rather leave sticker that you have to clean off later than peel paint that you don't have a good way to repaint. You get that razor blade sliding under there, it's quite a satisfying feeling. And it's staying smoothly on top of the clear under the sticker. And this is the actual tougher part, is getting all this crud off. Because you want something, got a bird. You want something harsh enough to peel the glue off, but again, you don't want to peel the paint off. Should I save these letters? Will I ever do anything with them? Probably not. Alright, we got several products here I'm going to play around with. Goo Gone, which is supposed to do this exact job, but I haven't been impressed with in the past. Some engine degreaser, which is probably not great for paint, but if we get it off quickly it might be alright. WD-40, because it does all kinds of stuff you wouldn't think it does. I don't know. And then brake clean, which should take everything including the paint. But we probably need to get that clean first. Let's get all the crud off there. Oh yeah, I got plenty of glass cleaner left. A lot of this you can just peel off carefully with a razor blade. But like this factory adhesive, it's going to want to stay. I don't think you're supposed to shake that. It's like stirring things on the stove. I don't know if you're supposed to or not, but I sure do. My wife loves it when I help her with stuff like that.
No. Nope.
Why are you stirring that? No, it looked like it needed stirring. And we'll let that soak, and we won't get any Goo Gone on it, and then we'll come back to it and see if that's all it takes. Because I'll be honest, patience is not my greatest strength, and this type of thing should be done with a lot of patience. We'll let that sit on there for a minute, and then we'll come back and wipe her down. That's actually pretty darn good. Well, we may not even need the Goo Gone. WD-40 may be the one to go to. Brake clean took it right off. Probably took the paint off too. Get brake clean off. Oh yeah. D-badge. Now I just got to figure out a way to paint these black without getting all the stuff behind them. I wonder if those bolt on. Only one way to find out, right? Well, on an old car, that would have been just bolted in. There'd be nuts on the back of this. But on this car, there's two little pins to make sure it's located properly. But I would bet it's glued. How well it's glued, I don't know. Can we clean it off and redo it? Probably. My trunk just closed.
Wow. No more LeSabre.
Huh?
No more LeSabre.
Lacrosse.
Same thing.
Not really. Question is, can I peel this Buick emblem off out without destroying it?
Oh, you're taking the Buick emblem off too?
Well, I'd like to paint it
Oh.
and put it back. And it has glue everywhere. Did we get it? We sure did. Perfect. Now we're just going to rough this up and then I'm going to paint it black. We'll use some sandpaper or Scotch-Brite or whatever I can get my hands on. I got to thinking about it, and if I'm going to debadge the rear and black out the one emblem, I should black out this one too. Let's see if we can get the grill out to do that. I couldn't find a single video on YouTube on how to do this. Take this grill out. I did find one on an Impala though, and I'm betting it's the same. Just have to get these little, you know, dealy whoppers, chingaderas, whatchamacallits.
What?
There's a special tool for this. It's not pliers. It's also not a screwdriver. However, screwdriver just might work. Can't see nothing.
4 years later.
That's not really what I wanted to do. Take the whole bumper off, get this thing off. Well, we still got 2.5 out of 4. It's fine. So those 4 deals come off the top. And then these guys just push down through. 2 of them you can get to push this retainer back in so it'll slide out on the outside. The middle one's not so much. So that's not cool. So we'll just scuff this up good with some Scotch-Brite and give it the old rattle can treatment just like we did on the other one. Scuff it up real good, give it 3 coats, and then we'll come back tomorrow and put it back on. All right, you ready to see that blacked out grill? Oh, it looks good. Doesn't it look good? Look how good that looks. We'll go around to the back. Look at that blacked out rear emblem. Windows are dark. Got rid of all those unnecessary emblems. Just kept the Buick. Oh yeah. Whoop. All right. I think this thing just looks good.
But wait, there's more.
Alright, I know what you're thinking. We've blacked out the emblems, we've tinted the windows, we've put the good wheels on it. But the problem is Grandma's Buick still sounds like Grandma's Buick. Even when you give it the beans. Come back here and listen. Well, that's just not going to do for a hot rod, right? So, we're going to have to modify the exhaust. But Adam, I can't afford custom exhaust. Well, guess what? Neither can I. So we're going to do some half-A custom exhaust with two of my favorite tools. The cutoff wheel and the recip saw. That should get rid of that grandma whisper. Let's see what we can do. Boom! Custom exhaust. Just kidding. Just kidding. We're going to do more than that. You got to take the muffler out of there. Jeez. It's actually, it hangs very low. So with people in the back, it wants to drag. So really, it's a safety issue. No, we don't want to. We can't have our muffler dragging. And if I let that down a little, it might come out of there better. I just didn't want it falling while I was cutting, because then it wants to pinch the blade, and then bad things happen. I'm just going to use these channel locks to push that through, maybe. Ish. Maybe I shouldn't have revved the car up and got the muffler hot. Now I got the light in my eyes, can't see nothing. Now I know how you guys feel. I point the camera at the sunshine. Okay, it's out. Alright. Let's see how she sounds now. I bet it's just like a race car. Are you serious? I guess the battery's dead. Isn't that wonderful? I don't know why the battery would be dead. I actually just had it on a charger all night because I was doing some other repairs that caused the battery to get run low. But it's sure dead. That's wonderful. Great. I can't get enough of buying batteries. Son of a...
Biscuit! Right, biscuit, yes.
Woosah. Woosah, hound. Woosah. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Actually, at idle, that doesn't sound bad, does it? I know what you're thinking. It's a little ricey. But it would be worse if it wasn't for the resonator. There's another muffler under there. So, we could leave it like that, just put a pipe on it so we could hang it, or we could get on the marketplace and we could look for a used muffler. Like maybe a Flowmaster. And I bought several of these for around 40 bucks. I really like the way they sound on basically everything. I've never put one on a V6. So, we're going to put one on a V6. See what it does. not very much. Let's have a look at what we're working with under here. Ideally, I would like to be able to take the muffler and a little bitty chunk of pipe from the car with me to the auto parts store. And that way I can test fit everything in their little adapter section, and we could do that. That'll get us almost to where our stock hanger locations will work. And we'll just cut them off the old muffler and weld them onto this one. Here's where the challenge is going to be on this guy. We're going to try and cut this ring so we get the fat part of it, but we really don't want to get into that curve, because then things start getting complicated, which they might already be complicated. So, yeah. But let's see what we can do. The reason I'm going to start this with the cutoff wheel is it's easier to start a straight line that way than with a recip saw. It is better if you use one that the wheel's not coming apart on, though. You don't have to hit the frame with the saw blade. That's just something extra I do for fun. Yeah, that's a good thing there's a welder in the family. So now, we just have to figure out... I mean, if you wanted to do things the easy way, you would just buy the right size muffler. But since we never do that, I've got this one laying around. I just have to figure out how to get those two to fit better. Man, it's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway, huh? Whew. There's a lot more hole than there is pipe. Alrighty then. She's got the dual outlets specifically for racing applications. There is a little bit of leftover pipe in there, so I'm going to try and get that out, and that'll be fun. And the reason you see the markings on here is there's numbers stamped in the end of this, and we bought a whole stack of them from a guy for like $100. And I went through and took those markings and went to the internet and the Google and figured out what the part number was, because once I know what the part number is, it tells me what the pipe size is. I don't know why I didn't put the pipe size on here, but I could have if I was better at this game. Yeah, when you whack the frame, usually you're going to bend those. So, you know, that's why it's a move reserved only for professionals. Not ideal. There we go. Now we just got to go to the auto parts store and figure out how to get this much pipe to fill that much hole. Know what I'm saying?
I think I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying. That one's too pequeño too. That's, yeah, who's too small now? Alright, well, I guess we take the muffler and this piece. I'm going to clean this up a little so we've got no rough edges. And we go to the Auto Zone. They seem like they have the most exhaust pieces usually. Maybe it varies every time. That's definitely not round. And then we see if we can make that fit. Do we want to put some turn downs on this end? I mean, that seems like the hot rod thing to do. 2.5. Are they 2.5 height? I don't know. Seem like they should be. That's why we take it with us. Because you start saying ID and OD, and then you look at all those adapters on the shelf and you get confused and nothing works. Alright. Time for a parts run. See you soon. Sure wish I could have found one that would have fit inside that or over it. But you know what they say, wish in one hand. But I'm pretty confident Wyatt can buzz that in there and make it look good. Especially since we'll be able to do it on the bench. Now we just need the one thing that I'm very short on around here, and that's patience. Patience to wait for Wyatt to do this so it's good. Now, a lot of people would just burn right through the paint to weld that, and that's fine. It probably would hold just fine. But my understanding is the cleaner a weld is, the better the weld's going to be. And if for some reason I end up welding this, I need all the help I can get. So that's what we're going to do. I think that'll tighten down enough. I don't know if you could hear that in the background, but that's the donkey saying, hey, it's late, we're hungry. They're not hungry, they just want to eat. They're very demanding. Alright, so we got that to do. And I need to cut the clamps off the stock, or the hangers off the stock muffler. Alright, I think we're ready for the welder. So, since he's off working, instead of helping his dad with his ridiculous nonsense hood rat ghetto projects, I guess we'll go feed the donks. You want to feed the donks, Hound? Hound the dog. You want to feed the donks, or you want belly scratches? Scratches? Feed the donks. Hound dog. Oh, there we got a tail wag. Hound dog. Oh, you ready for your close-up, Hound? Let's go feed the donks. We'll be back later. Who wants to be my friend? Huh? You guys? You want to be my friend? You guys want to be my friend? I feel like they're just using me for the grain. What about you, pig? What about you, pig? You want to be my friend? Oh, nice dogs. Nice Juanita. Nice Jesus. Ashley, the naughty donk.
Yeah, and like this, there's just tiniest little gap. So even with this welder turned down all the way, it's wanting to blow through.
So you're not going to be able to just burn it in. You're going to have to work your way around slow.
Yeah. What I might do is go over it again and burn it in. Now that I have some material in there. Because I still see a couple little pinholes.
So this, you could shove this way on if you don't want that. You want it like there. And there's a pretty good gap at the back, you can see it. I don't know, if you want to weld it inside you can, and outside. I was just going to weld the outside.
I can stick the tip on there.
So I mean, it doesn't have to go any further on than you want. We just want it to be this way as much as possible. So if you go on here, it forces it that way. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'll let you kind of play with it. I mean, if you this exhaust pipe's a little ovaled, so I ovaled this, and of course it's not a great fit, but if you twist it a little, it'll snug up some. But then hold on. Alright, Wyatt's got us all welded up on the important stuff, and I threw some boogers on the hanger. Booger, 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 booger.
Awesome booger.
But I think it's strong enough to hold. Let's do some testing, test fit. Actually, we got to get this thing back together so I can take it to work tonight. So, and by tonight I mean in like 2 hours. So, here we go. You guys stay there. Let's do a comparison without muffler and with muffler. That's straight pipe. Helps. Normally I would say you shouldn't reuse a rubber, but I think in this case we'll be fine. We're only going to use one of them. That should be plenty. I'm not going for perfectly level here. I'm going for what I think looks best with the bumper, and I'm really hoping that that won't get so hot it'll melt it. I guess only time's going to tell. Now we're going to put one of these fancy stainless clamps on there. Pretty self-explanatory, but it's going to go around the pipe, over both pieces where it comes together. The reason I like these is because they don't crimp it, so usually you can still pull it apart. So it's going to go around the pipe, bolts are going to go through, this guy's going to go on, and then the nuts. The nuts! Okay, I feel like that's pretty good. Supported at the back, supported at the front of the muffler, supported at the back of the muffler, supported at the front of the muffler, same as it was before. I guess we'll just see what happens. We'll bright action. And then we'll hit her with some barbecue paint. Should have done this while it was off the car, huh? That would have been smarter. Let's turn on the bake option. I think that's going to be good enough. Good enough for government work. Oh yeah. Should we take it up to the house and see what the missus' response is? Because she's going to know now. She knows what I'm up to. Race car Buick, here we go. So what do we invest in this? We've got $400 in wheels and tires, but new tires would have cost me $500. So really we saved $100. What else did we do? Window tint. Window tint on this car is about $250 to have a professional do it, all the way around, legal, good job, solid, gonna last a long time. $250. Could you do it yourself? Yeah. What would that cost? I don't know, because I've never actually had the guts to do it myself. So 50, 60, 70 bucks probably. Blacking out the emblems front and rear. I had a can of spray paint laying around, but if I didn't, $8 for a decent can of spray paint. Probably another 5 or 6 if you had to go buy the Scotch-Brite pads. I had them laying around from previous jobs. What else? Muffler. The Flowmaster. Usually if I've got to go buy one off of Marketplace, I'll spend about 40 or 50 bucks. I find them that way all the time. This one we found, I think we bought 10 of them for $100 because the guy was cleaning out his shop. So I had 10 bucks in it, but you could say 50. Exhaust parts from the parts store. I want to say we spent another $30 there. And you know, if you didn't have a welder, you could do it all with clamps and stuff. It would be a little more of a pain in the butt, and obviously you're going to spend a little more, probably another $30. So let's see, if we had to spend $60 at the auto parts store for exhaust parts, because we didn't have a welder, and we spent $50 on the muffler, that would be $110. And we had to buy a can of spray paint for $8. We'll just round it up, that'd be $120. Another $5 for sandpaper, etc. So we're at $125 now. $250 for windows. So we're at $375 plus $400 if we couldn't, you know, explain our way out of that. So for $775, less than $800, we took Grandma's Buick and turned it into a Gangster Buick. I love the way this car looks. I mean, I think those wheels and tires and the tint just totally changed this car. Blacking out the grill and losing the emblems and stuff on the back. Blacking out the one remaining emblem. I'm tickled with it. I think it looks fantastic. The muffler, I've been driving this for about 2 weeks now. I have to admit, I'm slightly less than thrilled with it. In fact, it sounds terrible. I mean, if you like it, great. You know, keep it. I'm considering either changing that out for a turbo, which would be a little quieter. Maybe just putting tips on it. I don't know if adding tips to that is going to get the sound out enough where it won't resonate so bad. But it just sounds awful in the car. It vibrates my earballs.
Oh, we flood your eyeballs, overload your earballs.
But anyway, I may change it out for a turbo. I may go to the junkyard and cut a stock one off and put it back on, because I don't need this car to make noise. But if it sounded better, I'd be cool with it, but it does not sound good to me, and it's my car. So that may get changed. A lot of what we do is trial and error. Everything I've done on cars is trial and error. More error than probably as many errors as I've had wins. So that's how you learn, I guess. But overall, this little makeover, I think, is a huge success. I'm super happy with it. Let me know what you think. Is it stupid to do this? But this kind of gets you into, you know, you're not just driving another sedan. You put a little your own taste on it. You put a little your own flavor on it. So there it is, the beginner, the half-A style hot rod. Could we take it another level? Well, that 3.8 that's in this, they do come supercharged in other cars, and there is a way to put that supercharger on this non-supercharged engine. Am I going to put that kind of money in this car? Probably not. If you've been watching the channel, you know I got other projects that I really would rather spend money on than my work beater. But this one, I feel better about being seen in public in it now, so it's got a little bit of cool on it. We got to get some half-A hot rod stickers on it. I'm waiting on new ones. And then, of course, that'll make it way faster, because definitely stickers add horsepower. But there it is. For less than $1,000, we took Grandma's Buick and made it into a Gangster Buick that, you know, any half-A hot rodder would be proud to roll. And yeah, it was probably a weekend's worth of work total, if that. So if you like what we're doing, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And as always, remember, if I can do it, you can certainly do it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.